Sesteria Dreldasar has subbed for 7 months. What in the world?
All right, we're just about ready for this thing. I'm a little late, but that's fine. If you got the positivity, I wanna see it. Mute and muted. Nope. Uh-uh. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning into the show. I'm your host, Ender. Hi. I'm a little late, but I've been busy, all right? I got stuff going on. I'm not ready to tell you about all the stuff going on, but don't worry. It's going to be okay. So if you're here and you're with me, let me know by saying hi in the chat. And if there's something good going on in your life, something positive, it could be literally anything, like I had a good breakfast today, anything. I'd love you to tell me about it right now, you know? Because look, life can be aggressive, difficult, draining. But I want this place to be a place that we can get a little respite, if you want to use a vocabulary word, from all of that, you know? I try not to make it too heavy for me or too heavy for you. So if you got that little nugget of positivity to share with me, I'd love to hear it. Infested7, whose motherboard died the other day, says my computer is back up and running great. Hey, that rules. I'm happy for you. What's your system? Share your system with us. We actually have a Discord community, !Discord, where we talk about computers and games and all that nonsense. And the gear chat category is typically pretty active. So if you ever want to ask questions about building a computer or updating your system, we have some certified, what's the word? Certified nerds in our chat, me included, who could help you with whatever you got to do. Speaking of nerds, if you wear glasses and headphones, these are actually really good headphones for glasses wearers because the sides are incredibly bendy. Like, they're incredibly squishy and they don't cause any discomfort, at least for me, when I have over-the-ear headphones. These are from our friends over at Zenni Optical, Zenni Eyewear, !Zenni in the chat. If you want to look at their stuff, that is spelled Zenni. Yeah, all right, so that's a little quick sponsor plug for the day. Didn't plan that one, just happened. Thanks, Zenni, for reposting all my selfies. Appreciate you. They literally do. They repost almost every selfie I put up when I'm wearing their glasses. A little bit of a hiccup there. That's just the first clip of the day. Don't let that concern you. Pay that no mind, okay? Pay it no mind. Hey, YouTubes, you out there? TikTok, I see you there. Logic Code says, I like your new Workaround series. Very cool. Here's the comedy. My online content has always been a Star Citizen Workaround focused channel. Like, the biggest thing you can do for the Star Citizen community is show what is new and then help the people do the new things by showing all the glitch fixes and all the workarounds. Like someone earlier today was like, love the new like someone said, guess this is a workaround channel now. And I wrote, always was. Winky face. Teriyaki X says, I was stuck out of my ship for an hour earlier today. I've been there. How did you get back in? Oh, everyone, look at this.
Oracle MSU has subbed for 63 months. 6-3 baby.
Everybody, Oracle MSU, 63 months subscribed to the channel. That's going to be the number of subs to beat for the day. Yesterday's biggest one was 70 months from Fuzzy Melons. Oracle, thank you for over 5 years of subscriptions. Thank you. Very nice of you. I also want to shout out Zestiria. Earlier on during the starting soon screen, they celebrated their 7-month sub. Thank you. And thank you for coming to see me play when I was in, where was that? Where was that show? At that barbecue place. I don't remember what state that show was in. But thank you for coming to that show. I remember you were there. Thank you. Thank you so much. Johnel, I hope I got your name all right, says, looking at your thoughts on a new Hosas. Is it worth the extra money to get a Gunfighter 4 with the modern combat grip and a Gladiator Omni on the left? Let's discuss this. So to be clear, you're saying you want to use a Gunfighter, which is what I have here, the all metal gimbal on your right, and a Gladiator on your left. So essentially, this setup is what you're wondering about. Right hand Gunfighter, left hand Gladiator Omni Grip. Look how I have all the stuff you're talking about, right? Come on. You could totally do that, man. That would be fine. And actually, both those products have a very similar height. Like the profile of the Gladiator up from the base to where the handle is, and the profile of the Gunfighter are pretty similar. The Omni Grip does raise a little bit up. As you can see, it's slightly higher. Let me give you a better view of this, because look, this is an example of me taking a moment in chat to help everyone learn something and specifically help you. This is why I have so many freaking cameras. One of the main reasons is so I can show whatever I talk about. Because when I was getting into streaming and I was getting into watching people make this kind of content, I got really annoyed when all they had was this shot of them. And they're like, oh yeah, I use this keyboard. And they're like trying to pick their keyboard up in the air, or they're trying to like hold things up to that camera and it's autofocus bullshit. I got annoyed by that. And I was like, well, what if you just had cameras to show all the things? You know? Exactly. So let's talk about this. Here's literally what you're talking about. You're talking about having one of these on your left and one of these on your right. And you can see the difference in the height with the Omni side grip and the Gunfighter straight grip. See that height differential? For a bit more comparison, there's a Gunfighter grip on your left and a gladiator grip on your right. You can see they're almost the exact same height. Notice how the Omni grip raises that a little bit up. This is why, for me, this is not very comfortable on a tabletop desk application. I think it's better a bit lowered, maybe using mounts off your desk. But then again, your ergonomics could be different than my ergonomics. No matter what, use my name when you buy anything from VKB. I make zero money from the company or from these situations. So if you save, subscribe on Twitch or drop me a little donation as a way of saying thank you. Any follow-up questions, don't be afraid to put them in the chat right now. And the camera froze. Happens all the time. Give me 1 sec. And that's why I don't like wireless camera devices. I prefer wired connections at all times. All times. Zisteria is wearing the shirt that me and my band signed right now. That's hilarious. And very, very sweet of you to tell us about. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Game Freak. That's my tea kettle, Game Freak. Anyone that talks for a living, you need to have a good relationship with a tea kettle. All right? Trust me. Trust me, it's helpful. Harley says we need an app developer to make us the WIKI workarounds with the search function. I know. Look, there's got also, can I rewind a little bit? Oracle MSU, not only 63-month resub, tier 3, the highest support system allowed officially by the Twitch subscription system. Thank you. Incredible. Thank you. Getting caught up on the chat right now. Hey, John, all over on YouTube. You should definitely come follow on Twitch after that whole moment I just did. You know what I mean? Come on. Come give me the Twitch follow, right? Pitch says, should I upgrade my Starlancer Max? What do you mean, upgrade to what? Oh, spelling error. I was like, your taxes? Why are we talking about your taxes? The Starlancer TAC versus Starlancer Max really depends on what you want to do in the game. The Starlancer Max is much more of a cargo ship. And as the Starlancer TAC, for me, is more of a general group ship, like you and other players, but specifically drop ship, like ground combat operations, drop off troops, fly away. You could think of the Starlancer TAC as kind of a mini Polaris in a way, but we don't really have ground-based assault gameplay yet. So it's hard to say, you know? I also don't know if you're talking about a Constellation Andromeda or a Constellation Taurus when you say Connie. Harley says, do I have mappings of my sticks? I do. If you can type exclamation bindings in the chat, you can look at all of the button arrangements I have for the right hand and for the left hand. I have a map you can look at to see if you like my bindings. Maybe you want to copy some of them. I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. But either way, it's there for you. How would you compare the Starlancer TAC to the Constellation Andromeda when it comes to firepower? Well, we're going to have to look this up on SP Viewer to be sure. because weapon balances have been changing a lot in Star Citizen. But suffice to say, those side guns on the TAC have a lot of power if you have people to sit in those turrets. However, the convergence of fire in the Starlancer TAC is kind of challenging because those side guns face out. They don't really face forward at all. So without looking at all the numbers, I feel like the Constellation Andromeda has better focused forward fire on one target than the Starlancer TAC does. But like I said, we got to look that up on SP Viewer. If you do exclamation ship info in my Twitch chat, you get this site I'm talking about that I think might be my favorite new site for calculating how much damage one ship can do versus another. But what it doesn't take into account is it does not take into account convergence. When I say convergence, I mean like large ship, multiple weapons, all pointing at the same location. Some ships can do that well. Some ships can barely do that at all. And this is something that you can't get from a spreadsheet list on some website. It's the nuance that isn't as readily available, you know? Was Squadron 42 officially delayed, or is it just rumors? Right now, it is only rumors. It is all living in the world of rumor and speculation right now. We have to continue waiting to know. But I wouldn't be surprised because we can't have nice things. I don't know. Yeah. So yesterday's stream was pretty insane. Can I talk about how insane yesterday's stream was? Can we have a brief moment where I talk about the absolute insanity of yesterday? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had almost $800 in donations yesterday. And the majority of that was from one individual that we were like, are they real? Are they trolling me? And they emailed me personally to be like, I'm real. I like what you do. And I am blown away, to be quite honest, to be frank about it. If they show up today, I gave them VIP status. So we'll know when they show up. Joey, I was just doing my normal show, man. Doing my normal show.
Welcome to the Black Parade, My Chemical Romance.
Everybody, it's time to get out your guy liner because we're going to play My Chemical Romance for the first drum break of the day. Thank you, Reaper of Ways, for requesting the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. Now, I want you to know that I don't actually know this song super well. I loved the My Chem album before this one more than this one. But I still know the song, and I can still make it happen for you. So let's do it. The Black Parade, My Chemical Romance. Let's go. Thank you very much, Reaper of Ways. If you want a song after this, it's exclamation request in the chat. $20 will get you any song you want, even if I've never heard it before. Let's go. I want you to know we do have a lighter emote for this song. It might be appropriate. That's the gist of it. That's the gist of the tune right there. My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade, the first drum donation of the day. Thank you, Reaper of Ways. That actual track has lots of wonderful details and like specific parts. I'm just not a My Chem like mega fan, you know? I don't know every idiosyncrasy of that tune, you know? And that's the thing. When you're playing a song and you don't know it, you have to take like steps to do what works and kind of not try to do exactly what's there. You look identical to my math teacher. You must have a handsome math teacher. Thank you for that compliment. Right? All right, let's get back to the desk. If you want a song, it's exclamation request in the chat. And yeah, that's the deal. What a fun song. Absolutely a fun song. I'm just laughing at the chat right now. Magic Man Official, welcome back to the show. Also, was that Lazy Donuts using the moderator like 30-month in a row thing? Was that Lazy up there? It was Lazy mod anniversary. Thank you for being a moderator for the last 30 months and the many, many years you have supported this crazy job that I do. Look, if anything, yesterday was like pretty insane for me because I need you to know that yesterday getting over $800 donated to this show, wrapped up with all the things going on in my life right now, was the first time I've almost cried on camera, maybe since my mom passed, which was quite a few years ago now. And it was a special moment that I'm not going to forget anytime soon. So thank you for everyone that was here to make that such an insane day. And this is the thing about being a live streaming broadcaster. You literally cannot predict what's going to happen. You can never know what's going to happen because once you get on camera and once you're doing your thing, you out there decide what happens next, you know? And I feed off that energy. It goes back and forth. It's just like a live show, except a live show in a band is like 30 minutes, maybe an hour, you know? Rarely ever beyond that, but a live stream is minimum 4 hours, at least for most of us. And yeah, yesterday was crazy. Thank you, everyone, for that, especially Phoenix. I hope they show up again today. Yeah, damn. All right, let's get back to the desk. Never mind. You got another thing coming, chat. And by that, I mean you got another thing coming by Judas Priest, courtesy of Zestiria Dreldasar in the chat. Yeah, let's do it. Let's turn back around and go right back. Hold on. Hold on.
Ober Frankenbob activated the Prime sub.
Frankenbob. Thank you so much, Frankenbob. I really appreciate that. That's incredible of you. Thank you. How many months is that? 4 months. Hell to the yeah. Thank you. You got another thing coming. Judas Priest. Here we go. If you have like leather gauntlets, let's raise them in the air during this. Here we go. Hey, chat, you out there? Hey, Werner, thanks for noticing my gains, my guy. Thank you. All right. Judas Priest, everybody, you got another thing coming. I want to thank Zesteria, for one, for that song request. Thank you so much. I also want to thank Game Freak over on TikTok for answering questions in the chat. I love it whenever someone helps me answer a question from chat during a moment that I can't answer it. And me playing drums is definitely a moment where I cannot stop to answer a question. So thank you, Game Freak, for that moment. And thanks, everyone, for being a part of the show so far today. We're just getting started, but the hype train is already at a level 1. So you know what? Because the hype train's already at level 1, I'm going to play one more song. One more song for everybody here, and we'll see what happens next. Maybe the hype train will keep going. I don't know. If you want more music, give some subs, and I'll play another song after this. But I'm going to play... What am I going to play? Let's see. Let me think about this. Let me think. I want to play a song I really like, you know? A song I really, really like. Oh, here, this one. Phantom is back, everybody, with a $50 dono. What? Everybody, our number one donor from yesterday, Phantom 1991cc, is back, and they've already dropped a $50 donation. Thank you. Thank you again. As you can see, I gave you VIP chat status, and my biggest thanks to you. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who's out there watching the show, being a part of all of this. It's true, my show is a mix of Star Citizen gameplay and live musical breaks. And I try to mix those worlds together as best I can. And I'm so happy that there's a lot of you that like this mix of these two things that I do, which are really the biggest sides of me, you know? Honestly, as a musician and being a gamer, these two worlds coming together is really one of the easiest pictures of myself that I can put out to you, you know? I think I would have a hard time focusing on only one of these worlds, you know? So I will play one more song for Phantom. Let me look at my list of songs here and see what I want to play. Chat making me laugh. I know what I want to play. This song always makes me feel good. And you know what? I feel really good right now. So let's play a feel good tune. Yes. That was Jimmy Eat World song called A Praise Chorus. One of the first cover songs I ever played in front of a crowd of not friends. I remember playing that in my high school band at a talent show, which was the only way I could play music in front of strangers when I was a kid, because I'm from a very small, tiny town that I had to escape immediately to pursue my dreams of being a musician and be an artist and play shows. And yeah, Jimmy Eat World, Bleed American. That's the name of that record. They're going on tour soon. They might even already be on tour. And they're coming through New York, and I really, really want to go. But part of me is being hesitant about buying tickets, and I don't know why. Maybe there's some like latent blocker in my brain about like admitting that one of my favorite albums is over 20 years old. Maybe that's what it is. The mortality of it all. Who knows? Reaper of Ways requesting Jimmy Eat World the middle. I didn't even see that until just now. Damn. Thank you. And if you noticed, I was going for it. Could you see that I wasn't here anymore? Like, I wasn't like, Enterprise, the streamer, hey, are your joysticks not working? Do this to make this stupid game work. No, I wasn't that at all. I was me. I was Rick, the drummer, who's been playing drums for 30 years. That's who you just saw. All right? That was the most real me you're going to get. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was awesome. Thank you very, very much for that incredible moment. But we're going to play some more Jimmy Eat World because, well, Reaper of Ways has requested it so with the monies. So let's do it. Arguably their biggest hit, The Middle. Sing along if you know it. There we go. Jimmy Eat World. Damn, now that is a way to start the stream. Whew. You guys got me literally sweating already. Not even an hour into the show, and I'm already sweating. I missed one. Reaper of Ways, you're being so kind. Okay, hold on. I'll play you the Mark Tom DeLonge infused Angels and Airwaves. Adam Willard is the drummer on most of those records. Really good drummer. He was also the drummer for Rocket to the Crypt, I believe, was his other band. Let me get a sip here. Hold on. How's my beard today? I've been up for hours, all right? I had stuff to do today. So I styled my beard literally, 7 hours ago? At like 9 a.m.? It's looking pretty good still. Also, someone was complimenting my tricep gains when I was drumming. Thank you for that. I can now do 50 pounds. Like, I can do that move 4 times for 50. Well, 4 sets of 10 with 50 pounds. So, gains, they're happening. So let's get back to the drums and play Angels and Airwaves. What song do you want? The Adventure. I don't know this band very well, just to be clear. All right. My favorite Blink side project has always been Boxcar Racer or Plus 44. I never really gave Angels and Airwaves a really fair listen. Maybe I should. Maybe enough time has passed. Yeah, I'll make a note to do that. Isn't it amazing that Blink is back together? Like, isn't it amazing that the Mark, Tom, and Travis show is real again? I saw them 2 years ago within the first few months of them getting back together, and it was like a fine wine. I don't even drink anymore, but it was like that. It was perfect. So good. So good. And you know what's also nice about Blink is that even when you watch old clips from Blink 182, there's a lot of that American Pie energy there from that like less than amazing late 90s, early 2000s time period, but they pull it off in a way that makes them not seem like absolute assholes. I think it's because they're being so jokey about everything and they're being so funny and so silly and so satirical that it kind of holds up, and it's not near as cringe as some of the other things that bands used to do and say on camera back then. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. All right, let's go back to the drums to play The Adventure by Angels and Airwaves for Reaper of Ways. Let's go. Once again, I don't know this song. So like Angels and Airwaves is amazing. Like, why have I been sleeping on that for so long? Why did I think it wasn't good? Like, yeah. Guess who's listening to that entire album tonight? This guy. This guy. I literally beat the shit out of the bass drum during that song. Can you see the dent right here? Can you guys see that? This obvious dent right here? These pads die on me like every 2 or 3 weeks. I have to buy a new one. It's so annoying, but I beat the shit out of that right here. Everybody, while I was drumming, Pandemanium came in with a request. You guys, Panda is a long time friend of me and the channel and everyone involved with this channel. Thank you so much for that. Also, someone named Numbers subscribed with Prime a while ago. 5168197. What is the relevant aspect of these numbers? Thank you so much for the first Prime sub of the day. Did you know if you have Amazon Prime and you take your Prime account and Twitch account and link them, you get one free subscription a month to use on anyone you want, and we get paid like you put down extra money. I know. Think about all the aunties and uncles that are out there with Amazon Prime who are not using their Prime subs. We're talking many, many thousands of dollars of unused revenue. Bezos doesn't care. So call up your aunt and be like, "Hey, subscribe to Ender." So thank you. Look at this. Harley Max in the chat using their other account to subscribe with Prime. Is that a workaround? Yes. And we know all about that playing Star Citizen. We know all about that. That's how you play the game. 1,000-Foot Crutch is the next tune. Song called Move. Let's do it. Thank you, Pandemanium. I don't know it. They tricked me! the disturbed similarities in that song and band are like really prevalent. Panda, is that song from like late 90s, early 2000s? I don't know like that song, but it just was giving me disturbed, like down with the sickness vibes. Everything about it. You know what I mean? Okay, so 2010s. All right. Hey, 2 more requests just came in. Everybody, I love what's happening right now. Technically, this is a Star Citizen stream, but we have had drum requests for almost a solid hour now. I am quite literally flabbergasted at the generosity of everyone right now. Thank you. Thank you so much. We got 2 songs right now. Volbeat from Jack 101, one of our few TikTok moderators. Thank you for that. And then V King just coming in right now with You Got Me at 6, Mixed Emotions, and Reaper of Ways with another Angels and Airwaves. Hey, that's 3 songs in a row right now. I'll make a cue for that, and we'll just rip them one after another. Now, I want to talk about muscles for a moment when it comes to drumming. Now, even though it might seem like my biceps or triceps are going to get tired doing this, it's not actually the case. Like when you're drumming and you're using good technique, you rarely get tired in here and you rarely get tired in here. I think the places where you start to feel a little bit of strain and whatnot is more like your forearm here, and then maybe sometimes in here. Those are more of the areas where you're going to feel it more. If you're using good technique and letting the stick bounce, you're using what's called the fulcrum. The drumstick should move like this in your hand. If you're drumming like you're holding a hammer, you're doing it wrong. You need to have some music lessons or find someone who can help you with that technique. The real magic is using multiple grips when you're drumming to not overtax one style of play, meaning overhand grip, German style, thumb on top, French style. You know, switching between those is really, really helpful. And then, of course, there's way more, but I'm not going to get into it right now. Instead, I'm going to cue up these 3 tunes in a row right now. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. Okay, I don't know any Volbeat. I want you to be clear. I have never listened to this band ever. They're a metal band, right? Song is called Lola. Okay, let's add that to the queue. All right, next tune is Secret Crowds. Angels and Airwaves. And then the next tune is going to be You, Me at 6 by Mixed Emotions. Oh no, the band is called You, Me at 6, and the song is Mixed Emotions. Or is the band Mixed Emotions? I don't know, I found it. Either way, I found it. Lola Montez is the name of that Volbeat song. All right. Here we go. We got 3 songs in a row I've never heard before. Wish me luck. First time listen, first time play for you, live on stream. Let's go. Damn. All right, there we go. Volbeat, first ever listen. What's next? Secret crowds. Okay. Oh man, my first ever listen to that song as well. That was Angels and Airwaves, Secret Crowds. I need to make one thing perfectly clear. Your boy Ender here has been going nonstop on drums for over an hour right now, and I'm beginning to rethink if I can continue this for much longer without a break. Now, we do have right now Viking. You got a song coming up next, You Me at 6. Now, I got 3 minutes ago a sleep token request. Gambit, I want you to know right now that I know 0 sleep token songs, and they almost all are full of odd time signatures. So this means me playing this song for the first time without ever listening to it is going to be probably really bad. Now, you can keep this song request full knowing that I'm going to be really bad at it. Okay? Or I will allow you to change your song request if you so desire. And then I want to thank One Bash for giving me an absolute layup of a song. That's a baseball move and a basketball thing with Eye of the Tiger. Easy. I love it. I've taught that song hundreds of times to students. I can play that song left-handed with my eyes closed. Maybe I will for fun. But Gambit, okay, just so you know, Gambit, you saying you love seeing drummers interpret things for the first time, okay, but you know that Sleep Token is full of odd times, not 4/4 music, meaning I can't even have a bass line of like. So we'll do it, but just remember, you asked for it. I saw Animals as Leaders play last week, opening for Joe Satriani and Steve Vai, and it was incredible. But like every single Animals as Leaders song is like the hardest thing in the world to play. Full of odd times, full of unique moments. I mean, Matt Garska is an absolute beast of a drummer. It was really cool to watch him play. Then I got to watch Kenny Arnoff play with Satch Vai. And Kenny is an absolute studio legend. And a bald guy. So, that was fun for me to watch. Be like, hey, that could be me in 20 years. Because that dude's old and he's still kicking ass. I was really impressed watching Kenny Arnoff be a badass at 60-something years old. Like, I can only dream of still being that good. Very few drummers stay in the rock band scene past that age. Look it up. Who gets replaced in the band first? The drummer. Almost always. All right. So we're going to keep this request even though I have no idea what to do. Gods by Sleep Token. It's going to be a disaster. I'm calling it right now. It's going to be real bad. Viking! 2-month resubscription. Thank you, dude. Hey, I'm not going to lie, everybody. We might just call the stream after all these songs. My wrist is getting spent right now, just so you all know. Okay? We might just be like, okay, everybody, see you later. Not a joke. Not a joke. All right. Then Eye of the Tiger. This is more drum requests than I get in an entire stream in the first hour of the show. We might just only watch SC videos. Maybe we'll watch Astropub Paul's video about the supposed Squadron 42 delay. Illegal, says Pandemanium. All right. 3 more songs. Let's do this. You Me at 6, first time listen. That was my first listen to You Me at 6. And now I'm going to totally suck playing a Sleep Token tune. Here we go. It's my first time ever hearing this song by Sleep Token. First listen ever. I did okay, right? I did okay. Yeah, man. Like that song was all over the place. There was so much going on. Just trying to listen and react and not be too wrong. It's hard when you don't know a song and the band is playing specific notes, you know? You either take a chance and try to play what they play or play like way more simple, you know? I don't know which one I did there. But okay. Next song is an absolute slay fest, meaning I know how to play the whole song. It is Eye of the Tiger by Survivor, the last drum song of at least the next 2 hours. No one requests another song. Any other requests are going to an IOU category, okay? So here we go. Let's do it. That's one of the best beginner drum songs to play. For real. For real. Any beginning drummer should learn that song note for note all the way through. The drum part is not that hard to play, and the easy version is even easier. You know, like you can literally just do this for the whole song. Together, 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 right? And then that fill. Ba 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 of the tiger. There you go. How many frickin' songs did we just play? Like legit. How many songs did we just play? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We just played 11 songs in a row. Let's say on average, each song was 4 minutes. 4 times 11. That's 44 solid minutes of drumming. Let's add in 2-minute breaks between most of the songs. 2 times 11. 22, 40. Yeah, that's about a solid hour of drum time. Your boy's wrist over here is basically tapped right now. All right, so let's watch some Star Citizen content, I guess. What is a relevant Star Citizen thing that we should consume via our eyeballs right now? Does somebody have something for me? Do you want news or drama? I want whatever is the most interesting. Oh, Jack, thank you for the 5-pack of subs. I missed that, Jack. Thank you. Thank you. You want to send me a link, Panda? Maybe we should watch the drama video. Should we watch, like, how much attention should we give this potential squadron delay? I mean, I don't want to give it too much airtime until we know it's real. But it is something I'm curious about, you know? Chat? This is how I stretch my wrist. I usually do stretches every single night before I go to bed. I want to take a look at this video from my friend Paul. If you guys don't know who Paul is, Paul runs a channel called the Astro Pub, and he made a video the other day about a possible Squadron 42 update. And you know what? I kind of would like to hear what Paul has to say here. So why don't we watch this? Let's all say hello to Paul.
Hello there. It's me,
Hey, Paul.
the Dark Horse of Star Citizen.
Hey, Paul.
And this is a capsule, a small segment of my office hours live stream that I do on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, here on twitch.tv/theastropub, youtube.com/theastropub live. I'd love to have you join us live as we talk about Star Citizen lore news and more. Today is an interesting one. This is going to probably be a little shorter. I'm going to start off the story and explain this is about Squadron 42. And I will also say that CIG has leaked like a sieve. Multiple devs have contacted me over the last year or so just to check up on the game. I could reach out for them every so often, just being like,
Hey, devs, no one reaches out to me. Wikipedia does. Thanks, Wikipedia. Love you. It's rare that we get any devs talking to us. Is it because I don't make news content? I don't know. I'm jealous now. Okay, continue, Paul. Thank you.
hey, what's going on? How's everything doing? And generally speaking, this is the progression of what I have heard. This is all me talking to people. These people are parts of different teams. They may not know what the other teams are doing. They may not have a full picture. They're from upper management all the way down to the bottom rung. The general progress of what I have been hearing is that as of last year, they basically, when Chris said they entered polish phase, he was being
For you, chat.
overly ambitious. He
Overly ambitious?
had stretched his meaning as Chris likes to do. But by the middle of the year, these are all trust me bro sources. I do, when I say trust me bro, I mean, you can take what I say as real. I'll steal another things. You think of these as rumors. They're all.
We were watching my friend Paul, the Astropub, talk about some possible SC leaks about Squadron 42.
Lies until they're true. All I am doing is listening to what people have been telling me, and they could be wrong. They could be plants. I have no idea. I choose to trust these sources because I've gotten to know these people. But I always want to point that out. I am not CIG.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. You see this over here? Okay.
The only people at CIG who have this information are CIG. And if they want to come out and tell us that I'm wrong, feel free. I would love to be wrong in this case.
CIG, please come clean with this. Tell us what is real, what is not. What's up, what is down.
Nice. And no, I'm not going to share my sources because I don't want them to get them fired. Let's put it that way. So, Chris was a little overzealous, and I think it was 2023 when we had our last CitizenCon, or was it 2024?
It was
Whenever
2023.
the prologue was released.
It was 23.
CitizenCon 2024. So
Right?
at the end of 2024.
Oh, 2023 was when we saw the full-on trailer about Squadron. Got it.
Because of what was happening at the end of
Right? Am I wrong? Who knows? No, they announced feature complete in 2023 in real life. And then in 2024, we got that full hour-long video from Manchester. Yes.
2024, I got to learn a little bit more about what was like the reason why it's failed and stuff like that. But by middle of 2025, the biggest issues they were having was that the game would play well for like a mission or two and then implode. So they were having some problems with stability. Though
Sound familiar?
everyone I talked to, when I asked them about the game, they said it was fun. They said the story was, all right. But it wasn't finished. it was sort of playable and you could complete certain things and you could get the vibe of what was going on and things were changing. But they pretty much went radio silent around the end of 2025, end of last year. Beginning of this year, I got a flood of these folks coming in and telling me, okay, like end of February, early March, they said, internally, we're looking at October. It's basically done. Their definition of beta Chris's definition of beta was really weird. It was like, would you play it from beginning to end sort of thing? Like the definition was described to me. I'm like, that's not beta. And even like the person who was telling me that specific one, they were just like, I don't know, man. I just work here kind of thing. But it had entered some sort of beta state by February, March. And then from there on, it was basically quiet. I mean, they're working. They got other things to do. I'm not going to bother them. I have been anticipating CIG making a release date announcement over the last couple of days. They didn't.
Yeah, me too.
So I was like, you know what? Let me collect all of the stuff I know about. Try to do my best to make sure my sources are.
Pause this for a resubscription from iCarol.
iCoral activated the Prime
Coral,
sub.
pardon me.
5 months. Hope your day is going well. Ender.
Coral, thank you for the 5-month resub. We have already played 11 songs on drums today, all $20 requests, so my wrist is feeling kind of fried, but we played a lot of tunes and it was a good time. And now we're just watching some videos about some supposed Squadron 42 leaks, possibly the game being delayed. We are watching my friend Paul from the Astro Pub give his analysis of these potential leaks. Let's keep diving in.
Burned and like list a lot of things. Like another thing that I heard sometime after 2024 and into 2025 was that CIG was going to release on Steam. Like Squadron 42 is going to go on Steam. It's going to go on all of these different other platforms. At least that was the plan, according to 2 different sources. Now, is that still a plan? I have no idea. I haven't heard it since then. But since we didn't hear anything else, I decided to pull like a list and put it on social media. Just be like, all right, these are all, fun things. These are all things you can like what I've learned and picked up here and there.
You can take away my spaceship.
Oh, I thought that I muted that one.
You can take away my space.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Skyguard, thanks for subbing to Paul there.
We were going to have this conversation on with Squadron on the captain's table. Yes, that is what's going to be. X is going to be there. We have a couple other people there. But
I want to quick jump in and say I can feel what Paul just did there. It is the hesitancy to like make a moment for the person who subscribed when he's trying to obviously record a YouTube video at the same time. I know the struggle. I understand it.
So I decided after putting this thread out of all the little details to reach out to the folks again and see how they're doing. Because I did notice that usually CIG goes in cycles where when you start seeing devs posting on Spectrum about things, it means they're like on a break. Usually maybe they're between jobs or something like that. And so they want to reach out. So I figured maybe these guys were on break. Luckily, I caught these folks on break, I think, effectively, or they just weren't working at the time when I contacted them. Chatted out with them, talked with them about what's going on. They were still somewhat enthusiastic. They were a little concerned. What I heard was there is concerns from some of them about performance at release. And I'm like, well, yeah, October is going to be pretty quick turnaround. So I can imagine to be a little concerned, like crunching like that. And then I mentioned, like October, right? And they all went, no, it's not October. It's 2027. They set a specific date in 2027. I am not going to repeat that date in case it gets them in trouble, but it is delayed, according to them. This is why I say These are rumors.
Okay, so right there. This is Paul from the Astropub, a very trusted, very well-known, established Star Citizen news channel, saying that he has spoken with developers that Squadron 42 is going to be delayed until 2027. Now, seeing his face right here, look at this face. I don't think Paul would tell us this stuff if it wasn't what he believed is real, you know? Now, we're going to have to wait until CIG makes an announcement about this. But I'm going to let you know right now that I'm very disappointed. I have been planning a big content push for the end of this year, all dedicated to Squadron 42. And I'm not the only one who has been planning on that, you know? So this is going to erode support for the game and support for CIG in general as a company, because they have not given a release date and then not delivered on that release date for a very, very long time. The last time they gave a release date for the game was during like the early days of development, before they even knew what the hell they were doing. Remember that? Remember when Squadron 42 had a release date of like, I don't know, what was it? 2000, like 17 or 18 or something, 2016. Yeah, that was, we can barely even consider that real, because that was before they knew what the hell they were even making. And they have been very careful to not give any dates about anything. And technically, Star Citizen has still never given us a release date for Squadron 42, the solo player version of this game. They've never given us a release date. All they've done was 2 years ago at a convention said 2026 as a year. Hold the line. Remember that? I was there. Remember that? So this is going to suck. And every single gaming company, every gaming magazine is going to write an article about this. It's going to be negative press all around. We're going to read about management issues. We're going to read about scams. We're going to read about lying to your audience. We're going to have all of this negative press. And I'm going to have to respond to a bunch of it in my comments on videos, live on stream. It's going to be, this is going to suck, you know? However, the only good news I have is that, you know the old phrase, right? All press is good press. Because people who have never heard of this game, every time something like this happens, there's a chance that that person who's never heard of this game now hears about this game. And it builds to the, what do we call this? Overall knowledge base of this being a game, the infamy of this being a game. It will add to that, even if it is more pitchforks in the crowd. You know? So I guess this is what's going to happen. And we're going to have to wait and hear from the developers, but let's keep watching Paul's video. What else could he say for the next 7 minutes? What is he going to say for the next 7 minutes? Well, let's keep watching.
Effectively, these are from sources that I trust, but they could have been confused.
Oh, one punch down. Thank you for 2 months resubscribed to the channel.
One punch and down activated the Prime sub.
Thank you.
Just by what I was talking about, all that kind of stuff. I just keep that in mind. So don't shoot the messenger when it comes to this. NCAG does use, at times will use like false information to catch leakers and stuff like that. They've done that sort of thing before. And yes, as Luna Marina is pointing out, Execute was specifically told them that the Drake silhouette that ended up being the Corsair, the
Shiv?
the newest, the latest one that's like with all of the other, not the Corsair, the Clipper.
Clipper.
The Clipper was not a Drake ship, and it turned out to be a Drake ship. So they could just be lying to my face. I don't know. So that is the story, effectively, is that CIG is likely going to delay Squadron 42, and they still haven't announced it, which I do find that very weird, because as of like 3 weeks ago, Jared was still saying Squadron 42 is coming this year. Now, I'm not going to go through all of this, but I will pull up another thing which just adds even more confusion.
What you got for us, Paul?
A member of my Discord spent hours chasing down a rumor that turned out to be true.
I know Cervantes.
The guy who's named...
this is all rumors still. Keep that in mind. But I trust Paul. Let's keep watching.
Who's named after the Molina mold, was on a YouTube channel, Twitch channel. And while the Spanish streamer, was talking about Squadron 42, they were watching a video on Squadron 42, like some of the old trailers and stuff like that, and they were discussing it. He popped on and said this.
To the clip. Uh-oh. Spanish-speaking friends? I think Paul's going to help us.
Translation.
Thank you, Paul.
That I speak un poco español. That was pulled up through machine translation and my own translation is effectively, I'll just say that I'm not missing Summer Games Fest this year, just in case. You can even say that, Summer Games Fest, just in case. Now, this is, you can look up that name, FUKUY. The underscore beforehand is a Instagram account. This is a Twitch account. And then the X account, the Twitter account is the same name here without the underscores. And it links to the same guy. It would be weird if maybe there's somebody impersonating him, but I'm going to go with this is probably him. And because this guy is also a senior dev at CIG, I think for Squadron, or I think for Star Citizen, not necessarily for Squadron, but they're a senior level dev. They've been around for a while. This is the guy they named Molina Mold after. So to give you that idea.
Did I miss the relevancy of that comment? Maybe he'll explain it.
So we likely are going to find out sooner for sure than later.
Oh, we'll find out at Summer Games Fest? Was it a dev hinting about Summer Games Fest?
Because that sounds like the context for the video that he was watching was Squadron 42. This is a dev in the chat. Devs like to do this. They get a little excited. They talk about these things. So, and I think there was some illusion in the Sandy interview for Variety. I think it was like that's a really weird specific thing that they released just at 1 billion. For that's going to be coming real soon. So we'll have the information real soon.
Okay.
I will say this. I want it to be wrong. I'd love to see Squadron 42 in this year, but
I want this to be all wrong and rumor as well. I do not want to wait for 2027 for Squadron 42 to release. None of us do. None of us do.
trust these sources enough to go, I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it. But we'll know at Summer Games Fest probably whether or not. Now, Summer Games Fest, for those you don't know, it's sort of like taking place of E3.
R.I.P. E3. I never got to go. Did any of you get to go?
It takes place on Friday, June 5th through Tuesday, June 9th. And there is a live broadcast on Friday, June 5th. I don't know if it's a constant showcase, but that's the they actually even have a schedule. Let me pull it up here so you can take a look. It's hosted by Jeff Keighley. It's happening in 7 days, 20 hours, 11 minutes.
Hey, remember when I got to be in a commercial for AMD back in 2023? Well, they flew me out to the Video Game Awards in December. I got to meet Jeff Keighley, and it was a really cool opportunity for me. I felt like I was part of the mainstream, you know? I hope that happens again one day. Exclamation AMD in the chat to watch that commercial.
The showcase itself is going to start on Friday, June 5th at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. GMT, so 4 p.m. for me. And this is the schedule that we know for sure about what's going on. We know we've got Summer Game Showcase, partner, then they've got the flagship event. You've got women-led games, state of play. So it's sort of like an E3 replacement is what it is. Very similar, but it's like a bigger event, but it's very similar to the games, the Game Awards. So
shout out my buddy Apollo in the chat showing off that our cat chatbot that Apollo has created for us can do translations on different languages. That's awesome. Thank you, Apollo, for sharing that with us. At Percussify in the chat for that stuff. Thank you for the follow.
Now, people in chat are saying, imagine announcing Squadron 42 at SGF and out and out. No, that's not going to happen. I even in the wildest dreams, that's not going to happen. I would not put all my eggs in this basket. There is more evidence now that there is going to be at Summer Games Fest, at least an announcement. But I'm leaning on they're going to announce it and they're going to announce a delay. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, if they're going to do something for October, because they're not doing CitizenCon. I don't know what's happening, quite honestly.
Me neither.
But we'll have to wait. We'll know in a week. We'll know on June 5th, I think. So that's what I have. Don't make me out to be the bad guy. I'm just the bearer of bad news in this case. Thank you for watching.
Everybody, that's Paul from the Astropub. Give him a follow. Let's talk about what we just watched. We just watched Paul talk about a possible Squadron 42 delay based on personal messages he has received from developers and some hints that we have seen across other social media sites and Spectrum forums. Those of you who need a little background on this, Squadron 42 has been set for a 2026 release date for the past 2 or 3 years. I forget exactly. And CIG has never given us an exact date. I think it's because they've been afraid of giving a release date and then backtracking on that release date. So I think one of two things are going to happen next month. One, CIG makes an announcement and tells us when in 2026 the game is coming out. Or option two, they announce that they are not ready. They give some blah, blah, blah about making the game perfect on day one, blah, blah, blah. And they give no date and just say 2027. I don't think they're going to give us a release date for 2027 as a line in the sand. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to give us a 2026 release date or just give a blanket "it's delayed" statement. I would love to hear from anyone watching if they have anything to add to this conversation. Naga-chan says, we need a date. We deserve a date for holding the line. I mean, you're not wrong there. I'm pretty sure the Star Citizen audience and those of us who are active backers in this game might be the most dedicated for the longest amount of time in the history of video game development. People always bring up Duke Nukem Forever. They're like, Duke Nukem Forever took a really, really, really long time. Yeah, but that wasn't a game that people were like backing and discussing and creating literal jobs around for years. You know what I mean? Like, there is no equivalent to supporting Star Citizen and the solo game Squadron 42. You know, there's no equivalent. Cervantes on TikTok says, we need a date. If not, I'm going to melt everything. Oh, that's quite a statement there. Going scorched earth if you don't get a release date. Interesting concept there. Is anyone else feeling as strong as Cervantes over on the TikTok chat? Now, Fresh Doughboy is talking about something that we have mentioned many, many times, and that is the games industry is scared to death to release a game at the same time as GTA 6. Grand Theft Auto 6, whether you want to admit it or not, is the most anticipated video game of like the last decade. It really is. The amount of people that are going to play that game compared to the people who are going to play Squadron 42 are not comparable. Because one is made for mass appeal and one is made for a very specific niche kind of individual. Now, the niche individual I'm talking about, you and me, has been monetarily funding this entire thing for a decade. It's different. We know how impossible it is for a game studio to make something like Star Citizen or Squadron 42. So we have been putting our money up for years to support this project. Where GTA 6 is made for mass appeal for children and adults, and multi-million-dollar companies have been investing so they can then cha-ching make all that money back. It's a completely different world, but it doesn't matter because the industry that advertises games is going to advertise GTA 6 above all else. Every outlet will be talking about it. So if your game releases when GTA 6 releases, you're doomed. You're done for. So, yeah, I think if CIG decides to delay Squadron 42, they're going to hide behind that banner. They're going to hide behind the banner of, we don't want to fight against GTA 6. We can't do it. Even though the truth might be that it's not ready yet, that it's not done yet. I don't know if they'll say it's not done, I think they'll be much more like, hey, everybody, GTA 6 is coming out, and we're kind of worried about fighting against that. So we're going to delay until 2027. I think that'll probably be their marketing pitch about this. But what do you think? Let me know. Honestly. Now, my buddy Apollo is correct. There is no competition between the player base. Oh, little hiccup. Wait for the hiccup. Stream hiccup. Wait for it. Okay. There is not much competition between the person who's going to play GTA and the person playing Star Citizen Squadron 42. Those are different people for the most part, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter. The gaming industry is going to side with GTA. There are some people that are going to play both, for sure. But it's not an apples to apples kind of thing, you know? Timothy is also correct. GTA is going to be a console game, not a PC game. I don't know if I'm going to stream GTA when it comes out or not. I do have a PlayStation under my desk that I could set up and struggle with a controller, be terra bad, or I could just keep on trucking, playing Star Citizen for the audience that still wants to see that game. You know, it's kind of a tough spot to know what I should do when that happens. If GTA 6 comes out at the end of this year, it won't be out on PC, I don't think, until minimum end of 2027. You know? Code Arrow, did you not see us watch Paul from the Astropub talk for 15 minutes about a possible Squadron 42 delay? We just did that. Now, Apollo in the chat is correct. It would be really funny if GTA comes out and says, hey, everybody, we're not ready till 2027. And then all these games that were going to come out are still delayed. I wonder if they would like full circle and come back. It's a maybe. I mean, it's a possibility, I mean. This is definitely interesting stuff, and it is worth discussing and worth thinking about, you know? Dade says, I love Star Citizen, but GTA knows how to make a game. Well, you mean Rockstar. Well, think about it. Is Grand Theft Auto a revolutionary video game concept? Is the gameplay involved and the systems being utilized? If we're using GTA 5 as an example, okay? We don't know what GTA 6 has. We don't. But you know what? I'm going to go off here and be completely transparent and say, I don't think the technology of video gaming involved in GTA 6 is going to be anywhere close to the technology and systems going in to Star Citizen. But are we talking about Squadron 42 or are we talking about Star Citizen? Because Squadron 42 is a solo player game. And GTA 6 is an open world multiplayer game. So in that way, it's only a fair comparison to compare Star Citizen open world game to GTA 6 open world game. Now, I'm sure Rockstar has a bunch of cool tech to show off in GTA 6. After all, it's going to be a AAA industry headlining game. But anyone that has even dipped their toes into the world of Star Citizen knows there is a lot more, how do I say this, experimental gaming technology in Star Citizen compared to what is in GTA. But we have to wait and see now, don't we? Because ultimately, what does it matter how detailed a game is if it's not fun to play? You know? And that's what the majority of the world cares about. A video game that is fun to play. Like, example, have you seen the new game from Yacht Club Games? The people that made Shovel Knight? I've been playing their new game off stream the last 2 nights, and it's amazing. It's basically a top-down Zelda style meets Dark Souls kind of video game called Mina the Hollower. Have you seen this? This game is incredible. It's been getting rave reviews from like every game company, every game advertising media, whatever. Like, it's fun. It's engaging. It's beautiful. It feels like a video game in every way. And I think it's even getting new young players excited about these kind of classic type games. This game rules. All right. It's really fun to play. Is it anything close to Star Citizen or GTA? No, not at all. But the point I'm making is it's a fun game. And ultimately, video games have to be fun above all else. Because even the most gifted artist who paints something with paints you've never heard of and colors never before seen by humanity, if you look at it and go, ew, then it's not for you, you know? So, Star Citizen versus Grand Theft Auto 6. People are always going to like one over the other just based on the kind of gameplay they're into. And we have to be careful when we get into these conversations about technology. You know? I often will side with the technology being used, the innovation being used, and I'll sometimes neglect what is fun, or rather not give as much weight to what is fun, you know? Because ultimately, that's the number one job of a video game, to entertain you. Damn, getting me all philosophical over here. Shit. Does anyone else have anything to say about all of this stuff? Someone talking about my water bottle. This was given to me by the crew at Linus Tech Tips when I was invited as a featured creator back in 2023 to go to the LTX Expo in Vancouver, Canada. As you can see, I have completely worn off the entire motherboard graphic on top. There's the CPU right there. But yeah. Thankfully, they make new tops. I actually cracked the top on this, but they sell just the top. So, thanks, Linus. I'm just getting caught up in the chat right now. Yeah, Jack, I need to follow up with AMD about that. AMD has not reached out to me in about 2 months or more about that potential Threadripper streaming machine. I need to follow up with them. I've been afraid to. You know, when you're waiting, you know, when you get good news and then you get no other news after the good news and you're like afraid to reach out because you don't want the sadness of bad news. That's where I'm at right now. For real. I don't want the gut punch of reality. So you're going to stream GTA 6, right? I haven't decided yet, man. I have an older PlayStation 5. I think it'll work. Hey, speaking of other kinds of video games and things, if you are going to be in Brooklyn this Saturday, I am hosting Brooklyn Comic Con for the Video Games New York Xbox 360 Rock Band opening and closing ceremonies. There's going to be a full vintage Xbox 360 Rock Band setup on a stage and signups for people to make bands and play songs. And I'm going to be the MC on a mic, getting people on stage, introducing their band name, and trying to hype up everybody involved. It's happening at the Brooklyn Meadows and Brooklyn Monarch, which are two venues in Bushwick. They are connecting the two venues together to have a Comic-Con celebration with vendors and WWE style wrestling. I'm not making that part up. And comic book signings by different artists and creators, and a whole video game room hosted by Video Games New York, the best vintage video game store in Manhattan. And that's happening on Saturday. And I'm kind of excited about it. So it'll be my second time hosting an event for them. I hosted for them at New York City Comic Con Official 2 years ago. So there you go. Ender on console streaming, not gonna lie, that's gonna be fun to watch. I'm gonna be so bad. Bro. I'm gonna be so bad. Yeah. So here's the reality, everybody. That 11 songs on drums today literally tapped out my wrist for the day. I can feel it right now. Like, that's never happened before. I've never had 11 people drop $20 donations in a row for me to play songs. It tapped me out for the whole day. I'm going to have to like really rest my arm. So yeah, let's watch the Squadron 42 about the Odin. I'm sorry, my brain just scrambled. Let's watch the Star Citizen live all about the Odin. Let's do that. Let's do that. Hold on. I think I have the link. I think I have the link up here. Let me find it. Yes. Yes. Let's watch this, shall we? All about the $5,000 ship, the Odin, which many think could be a game-breaking ship because of the things it has in it. Let's watch and learn together.
DefenseCon Showcase Part 2, the Anvil Odin. I'm your host, Jared Huckabee.
Look at this shirt. Tiki Room Jared.
And joining us on the show this week are members of our esteemed vehicle teams that were all involved in some way, shape, or form in the creation of the new battle cruiser that we've revealed just today, the Anvil Odin. Starting to my left, you see John Crew.
Hello?
Oh, there we go. Nope, that way. John Crew.
I'm John Crew. Yeah.
Hey.
Yo, look at those helmets on the wall there. Those helmets look really nice. The very Mandalorian coated Paladin helmet here. This one's so Doom Guy. This is one of my favorite helmets in the game in general. I love this one.
John Crew. That's Dan.
All right.
That's Chris.
Ew.
I don't know why you guys don't get first and last name. He just, in my head, he's always John Crew. We got Mattia. We got Mark. We got Ben.
Hello.
And now, finally, where he belongs, Alberto, tickling the ivories. All right. If you wanted the more involved intro of everybody, check out last week's show, part 1. It's where we did it. It was okay.
But they can't.
We're really sticking to that bit, huh?
There's a lot of
They
Italian
can't
references,
because it's
isn't
called
there?
that bit.
No, you can't. Well, we don't know where it cut off.
Oh, well, there we go then.
It's on Twitch. The whole thing's on Twitch, including...
I got to give it up to this multicam here. This multicam setup is great. They got one on Jared, one on the left side, one on the right side, one on the guy on the computer, and I think we just saw a wide shot back showing the whole table. Let's keep watching here.
30 minutes where nobody could hear us and anything because I thought it would be cool to look behind the scenes. We put a little note up there and everybody was just like, there's no audio. You try something.
You did right on the screen.
I know.
Yeah.
You try, but it just...
I know, mate.
That's right. So today we are discussing the last great concept ship of Star Citizen, the Anvil Odin battlecruiser. John, introduce us. What the heck is a battlecruiser?
So, if we're using naval parlance, a battlecruiser is a ship that has the weaponry of a battleship in a cruiser's frame, hence the name. So it has lots of punch, very close to doing glass cannon and punch above weight jokes, but I'm not going to do that. And the speed of a cruiser. So sort of the best of both worlds in one big package.
Okay. And this is obviously a solo ship?
Yep, completely solo run. I mean, you can fly any ship with one person. It's just...
Yeah, but can you do anything with
You can fly around, you have some weaponry with it, but really this is you and a lot of other people to make use of it.
Who wants to do the rundown of the weaponry?
If anyone just got here, they are discussing the newest concept ship, the Odin, which is the largest ship they've ever committed to making. And it made headlines last week as it was a $5,000 pledge ship.
Mark?
You got your cheat sheet?
No, hang on. Hide your cheat sheet.
No. We've got a cheat sheet because
Yeah,
I think the
there's so
only
many.
person who would be able to memorize it off the top of their head is Lee, and Lee's currently not in the country. Otherwise, he would be here and doing this. So, starting from the top, we have 2 size 12 triple ballistic cannons that are man turrets.
And for reference, what's the biggest gun on the Javelin?
It is 9s on the big remote turrets at the back.
And the railgun on the Idris is a 10.
10.
Yes.
So these are already bigger than anything else that we know of in the game.
So these are triple size 12s here.
Is there 2 of these?
Yeah.
So one on the top and one on the bottom.
Well, there's 2 triples.
Oh,
There's 2 triples.
Right.
So the Bengal, the large lower turret on the Bengal that people would have seen in the squadron videos, that's size 12. So that's got 4.
Okay.
We have 3 single size 10 man turrets. So that is, instead of having dual mounts, it's a single mount. We have 8, once again, size 10 single ballistic cannon remote turrets. We then have 8. I know, it's still a lot to get through. We have 8 size 8 double cannons that are manned. And then there is 2 quadruple laser cannons that are also piloted.
And those are
size 8.
2 quadruple size
8 cannons that are manned.
So essentially it's a size 32.
No.
No.
No. It's just,
how it works.
think of it more like the one on the bottom of the Bengal, where it's multiple barrels. It's worth noting that the weapons for this ship, just because of the sheer size and scale and complexity of just everything to do with it, all of the weapons are specific. They're not just using our generic PU weapons. All of them are built in and designed to specifically work with each of the turrets. Because, like, you can't just go down to your local shop and pick up a size 12.
Yeah. So they're saying these will all be bespoke weapons for this ship, the Odin.
Go down to the local shop and pick up an Odin.
I mean,
so every ship that we make available through Pledge will be attainable in the game. But there's this long-standing rule that Chris and Rich have had. It's like you can't just go down to a Hertz rent-a-car and rent a battleship. You're not going to get an Idris or a Javelin or whatever. Walking into Cousin Crows. It's like this. So when this does make it into the game and stuff like this, we imagine the amount of effort involved in getting this in game will be quite fierce.
Yeah.
Great question here. Are we going to be able to salvage and steal the weapons off of this ship? I don't know. I would like to think they'd be detachable for selling and salvage operations, but I don't think they'll be able to be used on any ship other than this one. But who knows? That's like so far into the future stuff. Who knows?
You missed one.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, you missed the other one, didn't you?
You missed.
Next line.
What's on the front of it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, we did say it had some pilot weapons. Yeah. It has a beam weapon of, size. It is the entire front of the ship.
Yeah, the whole front of the ship. The entire front of the ship is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 beams.
Determinable size.
It's a beam weapon with 12 barrels. It's 6 on each side.
Yeah, but it does combine to one giant beam, but it's a giant beam on a capital ship that's... It's a beam on a capital ship of a scale... Well, the size of the ship, as a just random jump point, is over 750 meters, and then we just have a giant beam that is the front of the ship.
Like, there's a very conceivable reality that the ship we are looking at and learning about doesn't get released in this game until years after version 1.0 game comes out. Like, I would not be surprised if we don't see an Odin in the game until a minimum 1 to 2 years after the game is actually released. You know? Because the scale of this thing is so outrageous. And the demand of player count needed to fly the ship is so outrageous.
So,
Sick.
yes. I mean, we can give it a size, but fine. I'll also cover it has a significant suite of PDTs, flak, and other automated defense systems. There is still hot debate about the specific number of this. It's either going to be 42 plus 1 or 43. We had an interesting problem when we were actually doing the PDT and flak distribution across the ship.
First time chatter asking about base building. To be honest, dude, we know nothing about that. Like, the last time CIG told us anything about base building was a couple years ago. I want to say during 2023 or 4 CitizenCon? And who knows how many of the things they said then are still the plan now, you know? Yeah.
Because they were so small, you couldn't actually see them. So what we ended up having to do was make clustered banks of them, just so that they were actually readable on the exterior. And there's just so many, it meant that we had nice little defensive clusters so they could cover each other as well quite nicely.
And why do you need them to be readable on the exterior?
Well, the reason we need them to be really well in the series is because part of the gameplay of tackling a ship of this size, it's going to be peeling back the layers of defense. You're not just going to rock up with a couple of torpedoes shooting jobs of good. You're going to have to take out the subcomponents, take out the shield emitters, take out the PDCs and defense before you can even begin dreaming trying to either board it or disable it. So if we just had the tiny little dots distributed everywhere, people would struggle to actually be able to engage with that gameplay. And we want people to visually know, like without owning the ship, where to target.
For as powerful as this thing is going to be,
it's still kill.
It still has to be killable. It still has to be, assaultable. It's going to end up being its own TSG, just attacking.
Yeah, the ship still needs to have a Death Star weakness,
One of these. All right. So
we're not done with the weapon.
Yeah, there's one more here at the bottom.
What? Which one did I miss?
You're missing the torps.
Oh, I was talking. We said guns, not torpedoes.
I said weapons.
Fine. It has.
It's got to have like 50-something torpedoes.
20 size 12 torpedo launch tubes.
20 size 12.
That can hold
launch
approximately.
tubes.
Remember, this is a concept.
Yeah. 40 in. So 40 queued, ready to go. 20 the actual tubes, but then you can obviously manually stock them as well.
20 tubes.
It's however many you could fit in your hold, theoretically.
20 torpedo tubes that could be fired at once for as many torpedoes as you have on board. The ship they are discussing could nullify the damage output of every single ship in the game. Let's just keep watching this.
How big is the whole junk crew?
It's 6,000 SCU in capacity, so it's
I think that's just the board number as well at this point.
It's a whole sea and a half of cargo inside it.
So you'll be
How
able
many
to stock.
torpedoes is that, Jared?
We might be able to do the math.
No.
Please don't.
All right.
I'm sure someone in chat can do that for us.
All right. So Alberto's going to cue up some of the imagery here that went out with the promotion. Again, I encourage you to check out all of the imagery and all the specific stats and everything on the dedicated webpage that went live at the same time as this video.
Like everything they've discussed about this ship so far, it seems like the kind of boss battle that you would have in a game against something that you never get to use. Like it feels like you would come up against an Odin as a big end game battle with your org with, dozens upon dozens of your ships. And it'd be the thing you fight against, not the thing you get to maybe have. So yeah, it's really interesting hearing about all this. Oh, and this is even more surprising and interesting. Everybody, a sub?
Mr. Eighth activated the Prime sub.
Mr. Eighth, I appreciate you hitting the sub right now. Thank you. Especially because we're just watching a video and discussing it. It really means a lot to me. Thank you. My hand got kind of tapped out playing 11 songs on drums today. We had a lot of requests. And we're just watching this video I haven't seen yet. So thank you for using your Amazon Prime to subscribe for free. Link your Amazon Prime and Twitch together. Free sub. I make some money. It costs you nothing. Thank you so much.
It's going to be much higher res and whatnot than we're going to look here. But let's start with the first image that we revealed on social media earlier last week, or I guess it's like 2 weeks at the time that we showed this.
Here it is. Here's the ship. It looks like an actual battle cruiser boat, submarine, which I think is the right design. I fully agree with the design choices they made here. And I really like that all the weapons seem to be able to hide or retract out. to give the ship a very different look between like peacetime versus wartime, you know? And a ship this big with this much stuff on it, I'm assuming it's going to take a bit more time than just one click of a button to go from fight mode to peace mode. You know, I don't think it'll be immediate. I feel like it'll take longer for all the guns to retract and warm up and find some ways to help control everything. Like with the end of this ship being a 12 laser beams, there's going to be some kind of power management issues. I feel like multiple engineers are going to be needed to run this ship, shifting power between systems, because there's no way they're going to let you fire all 12 torpedoes and shoot the laser beam and shoot all the dozens of weapons at the same time without overloading systems in this thing. But let's keep watching.
So here's the first image that we released of the Odin about 2 weeks ago now, a week before DefenseCon at this point. And everybody was like, where's the weapons? Where's the weapons?
He's talking
We've
about
noticed
right
this
there.
recently. There seems to be a trend towards retractable weapons, hiding the weaponry. Am I imagining that, or is that something that's actually more common now?
Yeah, I guess a few of the more recent combat ships have had that sort of visual cue in them. I don't think it's something that we're going to do for all ships. It's not like a shift in kind of mentality or anything. It's just a couple of the new ships kind of all felt like it was the right decision to make. I think with the Odin particularly.
I'll turn subs on. I'm so sorry, you guys. I forgot to do this. Sorry about that.
You know, there was a lot of different reference of kind of different contemporary ships that people are familiar with. And one of the things we kind of wanted to do early on was kind of just have things retracted and tucked away.
It's a pretty bold move because it's a lot more work to make all these retractable.
Jack, you are not wrong. Look at this, everybody. Another Prime sub? Come on.
Clennybug activated the Prime sub.
Clenny. Thank you, Clenny, for clicking the Amazon Prime sub as well during our little watch of the Star Citizen Live Odin presentation from last week. Thank you so much. Let's get back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no ifs or buts.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
it's just such a cool moment. Like it is a moment in itself when they actually deploy and show the fangs or teeth as the ship are, as it were.
And we don't have an anvil ship anywhere near this size as like the kicking off point. So it was an
I mean, there's no ship in the game in general anywhere near this size.
opportunity for like, what is Big Anvil?
Yeah.
And
Hey, speaking of Prime subs, here's another one, a 10-month resub.
Anger Droid activated the Prime sub.
Thank you, Anger Droid, for 10 months. Oh, Flip with a 52-month resub.
FL Lip 1234 has subbed for 52 months.
52 months.
52.
Woo. Thank you, dude. One of the biggest resubs of the whole day right there. Thank you, Flip, for so many months subscribed to this show. Thank you.
What is Anvil today?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think as well is, you know, you've there's two very clear different visual states when it's retracted and then when it means business. And obviously when it's retracted, you are limiting your defensive capabilities, but that's where things like the automated turrets come in. And then when it's time to party, that's when everything comes out. And yeah, and you know, a ship of this size, we could wave it away with lots of you know, yeah, it makes it more efficient. Everything's tucked away. It makes it kind of you know, a little bit I say more efficient to fly, but really it was a visual decision that we made early on with the vehicle when we started kind of having those very early conversations as to what we wanted the kind of like the core visuals to be. That was one of them.
This is a lovely image. This is one of the team's favorite images here. What are we showing?
This is a concept image here. What I like about this concept image is it shows the ship being so large that it's displacing a whole bunch of rocks and asteroids as it moves through seemingly an asteroid ring around a planet. Very cool.
Here.
Just a cathartic moment, I guess.
Who's catharsis, Alberto?
Mine.
And what are you trying to what are you trying to get out? What are you trying to find in your catharsis?
No, just to describe a moment of power.
Okay.
I remember when I first saw that picture, like in a meeting, I went straight to Alberto's desk and I was like, can I have that like right now? And it's now my desktop background because I was like, it's just so sick. I remember when you first showed it me, I came over to your desk and there was, I think you talked about it from like how it was like kind of hiding in the asteroid belt and then it would like pop out. And we talked a little bit about, you know,
This is a great comment over here from Jack 101 saying someone is going to ram space stations. Yeah, like them making a ship this big means they have to really figure out how they're going to handle those kinds of things. Like, there's no way they're going to have destructible environments for any established locations when there is a vehicle many magnitudes the size of that location. You know, like, how are they going to handle that in the game other than like a video game moment, which is like a tree, you know, when you're playing a video game and you crash into a tree that is indestructible and you're like, oh, that's funny. My tank can't run over this tree or whatever. It's going to have to be like that with this, but to a much higher magnitude, you know? That is stuff to think about, you know? How are they going to manage such a incredibly large vehicle in this game, you know?
In the Arctic, you see these really large ships that are like icebreaker ships, yeah, and it's just insane. That's a great picture for it.
And I think that's one of the kind of core things with the concept
Odin
art
goes
as a whole.
purple, deleted. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, they're gonna have to just make it a video game moment. Like, there are limitations to the simulation in every video game, and them releasing a ship this large, I think is going to have to mean some serious video game moments, you know? I see no other way that they could handle that.
There's obviously things that we want to show to kind of really show the details of the ship and you know, like what that ship's functionality and loadout and everything else is. But then there's also pieces that we want to do that just set the scene and set the atmosphere and give an idea of the dream of what we're trying to achieve. So yeah, some of these pieces might be more art pieces than, you know, I remember me and you had a big conversation about this and it was one of the, you know, I'm not going to say it was a heated conversation because it wasn't, but it was a, you know, there's things that we wanted to show that really put this in our universe, and then there's things that we wanted to show that were kind of like a little love letter to concept vehicles as a whole.
Is this thing going to be able to go through quantum wormholes between star systems? It's going to fill the entire thing. Like, are they going to have to create some kind of different type of interstellar travel just for this ship? It creates its own wormhole. Yeah, literally. I hope they show some size comparisons later in this video. I feel like I feel like an aurora is like the size of this antenna. I feel like my mouse on screen is the size of an aurora compared to this ship. I don't think it's that dissimilar. Okay.
Because, you know, this being you know, almost the end of an era with you know, concept vehicles, a lot of work went into it.
Yeah.
And from a kind of concept artist point of view, delivering those really cinematic shots at the end of a long period of time working on it is kind of part of the payoff.
Yeah, there's a misconception, I think, that in these concept promotions that these images are actually created by the marketing department. They're actually not. They're created by Alberto and the
Yeah.
team that's making the ship. It's like that. So that's what you're referring to. It's explorations by the artists who are designing the ship itself.
I want to read this comment. First time chatter. How you doing? They say this is an unnecessary ship. Apart from delivering on a stretch goal from a decade ago, what gameplay can you do with it that wouldn't become trivial? I mean, my answer is we don't know. But I have a pretty good feeling that this ship is going to be so astronomically expensive to run that it's going to take many, many dozens of players giving all of their credits to run this thing, to refuel, to rearm. This screams nothing but end game content supported by many, many dozens of players, maybe even multiple orgs working together. But we don't know. We don't know. We're just watching a video on it.
To evoke a feeling and evoke a sense and try to communicate what their feelings and sense of the ship.
Yeah.
And yes, it wasn't heated. It was a good solid conversation.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if it hits that many rocks, it's going to explode.
And I'm like, yeah, but it looks really cool.
If it hits that many rocks, it's going to explode, Ben.
Yeah.
But we let you do some cool stuff. This next image this is really cool, and this is Levski, right?
Oh.
Yeah, this is Levski. It was the best way to communicate the scale of the thing, as the diameter of the hull, I think, is 5 kilometers. The length of this ship is 150 meters.
Oh,
so
I wish this shot was looking from the other direction. I want to see how wide the ship is compared to the borehole in Levski. Maybe they show that soon. But look at these Hornets, I'm presuming to be next to it. Dude, the Hornet is like the size of my mouse cursor.
gives a better idea of what you could see and where when these will come out.
We thought that was such a big hole when we built it, and then we put an Odin in there. It's like, oh
no,
Yeah.
it is still a big hole. Odin's just a very big ship.
I think to build on what you said about like the key art being and like how it's like almost a love letter in some ways to all the insane work that we've seen. From like an artist perspective, and the team's grown so much over the last few years. It's these pieces of concept key art that appear on Google Images, on the YouTube videos where the backers are talking about how excited they are. And even when internally you're about to start the project and you get presented with, this is the ship you're going to be making, and that's going to be your world for 5 months. That's what they're for, right? No, not that, but like, I was thinking about like specific ships in the past, like the Meteor, for example, in front of you. But the, for whatever, it could be months, and in the large ships cases, like even longer. Those moments are what like motivates you as a game developer, and it's what like, when you go into that first call with Ben and John, and they're like, okay, here's the kickoff for this. This is what it's all about, and you see the pictures, and you're like, yo, we're gonna make that.
Yeah.
And it's like it's so exciting.
Let's talk about this comment over here. Can you land this thing? I don't believe we are going to be able to land this ship on planets. I wouldn't be surprised if it has no landing gear. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this is a space 0G only kind of ship. Built in 0G, never meant to go into an atmosphere. Yeah, that's what I would guess.
Setting the vision. So like obviously the concept doesn't cover every single area, but it gives everyone an idea of what the vision is for this vehicle. So when you're making that decision about what do we do with this space, what do we do with this bulkhead, we know what the intention was. So sure, that they may not be realistic about everything that will happen in our engine, but it gets the vision and the narrative of what we want the vehicle, the identity.
Yeah.
No, it's nice. It's been so long since we've done a concept only promotion. We didn't do any last year at all. This is the only one we're doing this year, and then never again. So I like that we've finally been able to talk. Concepts art are these love letters from the people who are making the ship to the thing, and I've always liked that about it because we do some tremendous marketing art. Like I'm gonna put our marketing art team up against any marketing art team in the world.
Jared's not wrong. The marketing and art direction team for CIG is really good at their job. Maybe too good at their job. If you follow what I'm saying.
And we're gonna win. But the nice thing about the concept art though is that that's not marketing. That is the people here making the ship and communicating from their perspectives.
With like the production ships, we get that from the marketing team at the end of that stage, if you know what I mean. And so we get these amazing trailers that come back, and they're almost like, that's one of my favorite parts, right? Is like handing the ship over, and we sometimes push it quite close to the wire. We're like, here you go, sorry it's a bit late, good luck, and then we get it back, and it's like, oh yeah, like your mind gets blown, and that's really what we're trying to achieve here for our production team.
You already know the Odin trailer when the time comes, when that thing's flight ready, the Odin trailer is going to destroy everything.
Just literally, or
just like the ship. Just like the ship is going to destroy everything.
We're going to upload it and it's going to nuke.
I mean, it's already destroyed plenty of bank accounts, am I right? At 5 Gs for a ship. People in my comments being like, hey, did you get an Odin? And I'm like, you think I'm that successful? Flattered, but...
The entire playlist on YouTube.
It's just one.
This is it. This is it. Kat and her team do these wonderful things every once in a while where they go through the events of some of the previous trailers. Like the Odin is so big.
Yep.
Like I'm gonna see if I can convince her. Let's go back through every ship trailer and just like the Odin was always there in the back, constantly going through.
It's like, oh no, it was that wall that we were still.
Yeah, do you know that white background? No, that was just one of the bulkheads.
Yeah. All right, so how much any more images to look at this point?
Oh, a bunch.
Did we mention it can carry other ships inside?
Oh, there we go.
No.
Yeah. So yeah.
Here's another good size comparison of this ship. Look at those Hornets flying out of the hangar bay there. This Hornet ship is roughly the size of this turret right here. And I'm pretty sure these turrets are like size 8 turrets. And these things are size 12s. Yeah, this thing is just, it's beyond the scope of anything else we know in this game. There are many weapons on this ship that can one-shot, well, if we're following the logic of weapon sizes that we know so far, individual turrets on this thing have the capacity to one-shot many of the ships and vehicles in this game. But let's keep watching. We have more to learn.
Yeah, so folks have speculated on the bays to the side. Yes, these are.
So bay-wise, it is 6 small, 2 metric small hangars, and 1 medium hangar, and that's to the actual metric ones as well. So it's not like the pads are designed for specific vehicles. It's anything that's designated for that metric they can fit on.
Because people had seen the 3 side doors,
right?
So like, oh, that's gonna have some hangars. But
this is kind of a cool concept image. Remember, these are all concept images, right? We really shouldn't take any of this too much in, because it's all concept, right? We've all seen many concepts change over the years. But still, looking at this footage, this seems correct. This thing is going to devastate anything and everything currently in the game.
What they won't have seen is the larger
We'll have seen now.
hangar.
We'll get to the larger hangar inside, but yes, 6 side hangars, 3 on each side.
Yep.
Big enough to Hornets and stuff. Obviously.
Oh, easily.
Like, we can't even conceive of what you would do in this ship. Someone asked that earlier. They're like, what do you even do in this? We don't know.
Easily.
Cutlasses.
I think cutlass count as small.
I feel like this will be for fighting massive Von Duel battles against the King ship and like the biggest ships that they have.
You'll be able to fit cutlasses in.
I'm not going to get back out.
Okay. And of course, that's a concept size, and we all know what happens when a concept goes to final art.
Especially in the UK.
I don't know if this gets any bigger, we're going to have trouble.
This gets any bigger.
And I think it has been like quite interesting to see because that early image and the hologram that's been Bavaria 18, people have been able to kind of make assumptions from that, but I've seen so many questions about how do the hangars work, what they're going to do, and someone's like, has it got fly-through hangars? And I'm sat there like, can't say anything, but this is getting me hyped.
So 6 ship hangars, 3 on each side, clearly with the ship repair, refuel, rearming. So like that. What else we got looking at here?
Right there. I think the only gameplay that we can even conceive of right now with this ship, other than Odin versus Odin org battles, is something like this. Going against the largest and biggest Von Duel alien ships out there. I think that's the only gameplay that I can even conceive of right now for this thing, the Odin. Yeah.
Capabilities of the vertical launch torpedoes.
Okay, so yeah, these are the 20 tubes that you mentioned here.
These are the 20 tubes just in front of the conning tower.
Okay.
Well, you can have a better illustration.
And there's that laser beam, the 6-barrel entire front of the ship. This depiction, concept art, cutting what looks like a Von Duel. Is that a King ship? I'm not sure which one that is. Just slicing it right in half. Schlink. If this is truly what the laser on this ship will be possible of doing, it's going to have some kind of massive downside to using that beam. Like, using that beam takes every ounce of power the ship has, and after firing it, you can do nothing with the ship afterwards. Like, the ship is like the shield goes down. If you fire the laser beam for 1/2 a second too long, you burn out all of the power generators and the ship is like dead in the water. Like, there has to be a massive player skill based challenge for you and your org using something like this in the game. Even if they make the ship the most difficult to fly and difficult to fund ship in the game, requiring many, many billions of credits in game to fly this thing, people find ways to make money in video games. People find hacks. They find tricks. They find people who will play these games day in and day out, grinding. The orgs that are serious will find ways to grind any amount of credits needed to fire my laser like this and devastate everyone. So how is CIG going to balance something like this in the future of the game? That's honestly my biggest question. How are they going to balance this? It's so far in the future, I can't even conceive of it. If you know, put it in the comments, because I'm legitimately curious. I have no idea. No clue.
Understanding of the front laser.
It's a front laser, and that's what we're talking about, the 12 emitters on the front.
Yep.
6 on each side. You just,
Very space battle.
Have you shown this to Mike Snowden yet?
Yeah.
Have we?
I don't know.
He's seen it now.
So this may be the first time Mike Snowden's seeing such a thing.
We're going to blow every budget.
No, we would have done it in the reviews. It's fine. Okay.
I mean, Apollo is right in my chat right now saying the only way that we're going to be able to destroy a ship like this is probably going to be boarding the ship. Like getting someone on board the ship. Strike teams. I don't think there's going to be any way to take this thing down. Sabotage. Strike teams. Boots on the ground. That's going to be the only way. At least from the standpoint of the game we have now and thinking about what we'll have then,
What else we got?
Just an explanation of the position and capabilities of the lower hangar, of the medium hangar is quite big. We're talking about 68 meters for 100 for 44, relatively in X, Y, and Z, so quite massive.
Another large ship right there coming out the hangar. It's like a Valkyrie.
The really cool thing about the hangar arrangement on this is that they're sort of interconnected. So you can fly in the rear as that ship is flying out.
Yeah, they're all part of the same environment. And
Are the hangars fly through, like the smaller ones? Yeah.
Well, the whole thing is.
Well, the medium
the
one is as
medium's
well.
in the middle,
and
then the
the
medium.
Yeah, I want to stop and look at this, but also I want to say what Panamanium is saying here. The potential for sabotage on a ship this big is massive. Yeah, I mean, they're going to talk about it soon, but this ship has many internal trains to take you around the ship. Meaning, if someone can get on board and sabotage one small part of the ship and start, say, a fire or take out a bunch of power relays or whatever, that could cause some kind of trickle down thing that could disable the entire ship. So it's going to be very vulnerable unless you have the dozens upon dozens of people that it's going to take to keep something like this safely running. Yeah, Game Freak, there are trains to move around this thing. That's how big it is. They're going to talk about that for sure. Yeah, and the claim time. How many days is claim time going to be? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's days.
It's in the middle, and then the 6 small hangars are arranged 3 per side, but the whole thing is just open, and then at the back of that, there's then all the cargo, as well as then the conveyor belt up for the torpedoes to get them into the actual torpedo control room.
Yeah, so we kind of, we spent quite a lot of time playing with ideas about how the hangar could look and how it could function. And one of the things that we kind of settled on and were really excited about was having, this big kind of open expanse where you could have your kind of ships primed, ready to launch in all the hangars, but then you had enough space around them to kind of do all the operations you needed. So if you had other ships in there that were landed that were getting repaired, or you had other ships in there that were getting kind of guns or loadouts changed, or your pilots ready, you had space to do all that, and we really wanted.
Wait, do they have someone operating this camera? I just saw the camera moving. I think they have a camera operator here, not a steady shot. Interesting.
The idea to be that you could fly in through the rear of the ship, and if you're in a big combat situation and you're like, right, recall the fighters, they weren't all scrambling.
Sorry to get all cinematographer on you, but I don't like the hard focus bokeh effect happening right now. It's a little heavy.
It's getting these tiny little hangar doors. You could load them up in through the rear of the ship, kind of get them back into their ready positions and get out of there kind of quite quickly.
Sorry.
So what is this? What is this room here?
So that
torpedo room.
I know.
Subway system. Torpedo room. Metro subway system.
Though it looks like it's an entire room, what you're actually seeing there is the walkway that you saw at the top of the hangar. That's the sort of scale we're talking. And like I mentioned, at the bottom of the hangar, there's basically a conveyor belt that connects to the torpedo control at the top. So behind what you're seeing in that image there is the cargo grid. And what you're seeing to the left there, closest to us, is an actual constantly rotating conveyor belts. So
Oh.
if you want to load torpedoes, you take them from the cargo grid, put them on there. They'll then make their way to the actual torpedo control room where
Whoa.
the tube bays actually are, for them to be taken off the bay, and then loaded into the tubes to be fired. So on either side, there's a constant rotating thing. So if you need...
You know when you go to one of those sushi places and they have the conveyor belt with the food that goes round and round? Well, it's like that, but full of torpedoes.
Need more torpedoes, you can just take them straight off the grid, straight onto there, and it goes up to then be manually loaded.
And we've mentioned this as a multi-crew ship. It's definitely a multi-crew ship. Like, if you want this thing to be efficient, then you will need.
Can you do this by yourself? Yes, you'll get a good workout running around the ship.
Well, you'll get 20 shots out of the torpedo tubes, and that's it, instead of as soon as it's ready to go again. Because at the end of the day, as long as there's someone there feeding it, it can just keep going.
So, you know, more multi-crew roles than just sitting in a turret, although we do have a lot of turrets.
The equivalent of shoveling coal, just putting torpedoes in over and over and over and over again.
Thanks for doing what you do. Keep bringing those wholesome takes.
Hey, Resin, thank you very much for the $10 donation. Just because. That's really, really, really cool of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Especially because we're just watching a video and I'm just giving my takes on it. It's really, really nice of you. The reality is I blew out my wrist playing 11 songs on drums at the beginning of today's show, and I'm kind of nervous about it and kind of worried, and I'm just going to take it easy the rest of the day, so we're just watching a video and talking about it. But thanks for being here, and thanks for being so supportive and so friendly and so kind to me. Thank you. It is rough getting old when your life has been spent using your hands to play music and video games. There is a finite number of times our bodies can do things. You know what I mean? And that's why fitness is so important for me. That's why eating healthy is so important for me. That's why I dedicate so much of my life to being able to maintain and like continue doing this. This game's not even out yet. Like, my channel is not going to fully blossom until this game comes out. We're years away from that. And I'm not going to lie, it's a bit scary for me. All right? So I might have to put a new system in place about like limiting the number of drum requests I'll do in the beginning of my stream. But that's a different topic of conversation. Let's keep watching this Odin video, all right? And thank you again, Resin PM. Thank you.
A lot of people just sitting in turrets.
I remember
23.
Well, me and Alberto were counting them before. We had to keep recounting to make sure we're getting which ones were right.
It turned out we're not good at math.
No, we're terrible at it. We're absolutely atrocious, and we made the damn thing. It was 15 manned, 8 remote, and that's just turrets, not to mention all the other things people can do across the ship.
But those remote turrets still have to be operated.
So they are remote turrets. There's an entire room dedicated to that.
Yeah. So what else we got to look at here?
So what you can see here as well is in the kind of like the roof of the hangars. Yeah, you've got basically your what we see is like the ATC effectively. Yeah, you've got your control room for the hangars, and just a great overview of like not the battle stations, but everything else.
It's managing the cargo, it's managing the hangars, it's managing the doors.
Dude, look at this shot. Can I rewind this a bit? Hold on. I want to rewind this a little bit. Sorry about that.
And that's just turrets, not to mention all the other things people can do across the ship.
But those remote turrets still have to be operated.
Yeah, they are remote turrets. There's an entire room dedicated to that.
Yeah. So what else we got to look at here?
So what you can see here as well is in the kind of like the roof of the hangars. Yeah, you've got basically your
up
what
here.
we see is like the ATC effectively.
What is this, like these administrators? They're just overseeing the operations from up here?
You've got your control room for the hangars, and just a great overview of like not the battle stations, but everything else.
It's managing the cargo, it's managing the hangars, it's managing the doors, it's making sure that, oh, you can go into Bay 3, you can go into Bay 7 because there's no one in it. It's away from the battle of the main ship, because their war isn't what's going on outside, it's making sure what's going on inside the ship is working correctly.
Let's go ahead and keep the images going. What else we got? You made a lot of images for this, Alberto. So
This is the cargo area.
this is the cargo area that we learned was...
What if we could put a pool in this room? Doesn't this look like there could be a massive swimming pool right there?
6,000.
6,000?
Plus 2,000
Plus
just for
2,000.
the elevator.
Yeah.
All right, so there's 6,000 on the hold, and then the elevator. If you want to leave cargo on the elevator, that's another 2,000.
Yeah, and that's a elevator that goes down and up between the medium hangar, which is at the back of the medium hangar.
Do we have an image of that? Because right now you're telling me there's an elevator that holds as much cargo as the ironclad.
The elevator is this part with the stripes.
So see the chevrons at the back? That's the elevator that goes up and down at the very back of the hangar.
Is that like red light at the top? Is that the ATC thing you were talking
Yes.
about?
See, that's the scale, right? We showed that side shot and it looked like it was an entire room. It's not an entire room. It's literally the catwalk that you're seeing on the left and right.
And when we went into this and when we got the initial brief, we were, it came out as we were doing an ambush ship, and it's like, yeah, cool. And then we got the brief, and it's like, okay, this we can work with. And then, through each kind of point of decision we made, we were always looking at it like, this is our kind of like ultimate ship for this purpose. This is the from what I would class our kind of like end game.
Yeah.
And so we kind of, obviously we need to make it, obviously we need to deliver it. So there's got to be compromises in somewhere, but we did our best to kind of always kind of look at it and think, right, how do we make the best we can? And this is what we tried to do. And when we get into production, we get to see whether or not we can achieve it. But we put a lot of discussions, I think, and decisions into trying to get this thing to be like, really, really something that we can be proud of.
And what else do we have to look at, Alberto?
Oh, there's plenty. We have all the interiors.
We haven't even got into the...
Okay, so everything we just saw was only connected to the torpedoes on the ship and the hangar bay. That was all a little bit of hangar bay, and then precisely how we will load the 20 torpedo tubes on the ship. What are they? What size do they say they are? Size 12 torpedoes? Is that what they said? Something insane like that. And now we have a cross section here. Let's see what they have to say about this.
We have
this is just a hangar.
Sorry.
We're in
Go.
the first room still,
You
essentially.
want to see the general layout of the interiors?
Yeah, I want to see everything here.
So this was the area we just seen. Here is situated.
Oh yeah, we were just looking from this perspective, looking in. Because here's that administrative zone. Here's all the torpedoes. Here's that conveyor belt of torpedoes that drag them around. And here are the 20 torpedo launch bays right here that go straight up. Just like this thing was an actual submarine.
Cargo. Here is the part of the elevator, and this one.
It's just mind-boggling from the standpoint of where the game is at right now.
One is the medium hangar. This is the setup for the side
The small hangars.
Here there is the conveyor belt you have seen earlier, and just above there is the loading room for the launching tubes. From here is where you will take the conveyor belt missiles and load them into the pipes. Here is your favorite room.
What?
Remember that one?
Are those are shells. Those are massive ballistic shells in a circular what weapon control room?
It's the one we showed in.
This was on the weekly newsletter a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, this one is the actual size of the turret when it's collapsed in itself, and we have enough space.
Wait. This is the size 12 weapon turret. The triple barrel size 12 turret. And this is a person. So my mouse cursor right now is the size of a human character. And this is the size of the weapon. The size 12 triple or quadruple barrel. And this ship has 2 of these? We can't even conceive of what they're talking about in the game that we have right now. It's... Is this too much? Almost feels like too much. For a game that still isn't even done yet. I don't know. Oh, Pandemanium's got the image for us. Hold on. Oh, it's not, they're saying not found when I click those images. Hold on, let me try highlighting the entire group of text. Let me try that. Oh, here it is. This is the turret control room for the size 12 turret on the Odin. The ship Star Citizen is working on after hitting the $1 billion funding point. This room here is right here. So that's the human. And this is the barrel, the size 12 barrel. And there's what, 2 of these weapons? Like, dude. Okay. Wait, are there 2 images? Wait. Did Panda send me 2 images? Hold on. I think there's a second one. Hold on one sec. Is this the same image? Oh. Oh, it's another view. So this view. And then this view. Damn. Okay. Okay. Oh, another one? Another one. Hold on. Another one. Wait for it. Nope. That didn't work. The link didn't work. That's fine. That's fine. Dude. Let's keep watching this.
Is that we could put a gantry passing on the outside of the ship, but on the inside of the turret that effectively looked like this.
And just to try and communicate the sense of scale with this thing, we
Cliptic, type exclamation bindings in the chat to go to my Discord and look at my controller setup and see if what I've done can help you with what you want to do. That's my best thing for you to check right now. Yeah, here's people walking below the size 12 triple barrel weapon on the Odin.
do expect areas like this to exist where, when you look at the the ship full screen and it's just that kind of silhouette,
Yeah.
you don't see it. But yeah, this is.
Well, the hangar catwalk was the prime example there, right? We looked at an image, we thought it was the entire room, it was just the catwalk.
Yeah, my favourite scale bit on the ship is the little zigzag ladder on the side of the conning,
staircase.
on the side of the conning tower.
All right, let's talk about the conning tower. I mean, we'll get to the base. Oh, okay, let's be disciplined here. Let's continue into the main hall before we go to the conning tower. What else are we looking at here?
We got my train, my lovely train.
Your train.
Yeah, we have a
Oh,
train
yes, the
system
train.
that connects the most important parts of the
The
ship.
train system. It'll be the first ship in the game to have its own internal subway system.
To the most remote manned turrets.
So similar to the Bengal, realistically, getting around the ship is going to be a huge task. It is an.
Is it confirmed that the Bengal will also have a train? They just mentioned Bengal. So maybe not the first ship. Well, who knows? The Bengal doesn't exist in game yet, and neither does this thing. So I don't think it really matters.
Absolutely massive ship. So it has its own train tram system, whatever you want to use the specific.
I mean, yes, they've had an outline of a Bengal in the game. NPCs flying it, yes. But the interior was not completed. You know what I mean? Not for us to see, at least.
Word for that runs constantly throughout. It's not like the lifts where you press a button, because that's its own thing. Somewhere else where there's the lifts to get up and down, there's multiple of them. But just because of the sheer size, we had to set up something to get you around. So there is multiple trains running in a constant loop so that people can navigate the ship.
Like an airport.
Will it be like how on Microtech you have like the trains?
Exactly like that. We needed something of that scale because the ship is colossal.
Yep. And when the tram leaves its path and takes you out in the thing, it's a escape pod function.
Jared making a joke about the runaway flying elevators in the game. Thank you, Jared, for bringing us back to reality after 40 minutes of dream talk. Look at Jared's face right there. He knows the joke he just made. Thank you, Jared.
We'll get to the escape pods, don't worry.
Let's hope they work. By the time this comes out, transit will be, should be much better.
Again, Jared's doing it again. Thank you, Jared. Thank you for making this not just all fantasy talk. I mean, it is all fantasy talk, but I like when he makes us go to reality, you know?
So there's already tremendous improvements that are in now. All right, let's go back. Oh no, we still got more in the hull here. We still got more in the main hull.
No, in the main hull, I think we're done. There is another
there's
room
the
for the other size 12 that is
the top and bottom have that massive triple barrel size 12 artillery shell room.
The bottom.
There's areas of the ship as well that we're not quite ready to show yet. So there's the front area that's
Won't assume in engineering.
Yeah.
Engineering, habitations.
There's no way they've got that all figured out yet.
Because obviously it is designed to be a multi-crew ship, so there is substantial crew quarters and stuff, but obviously the amount of time it took to even assemble what we have so far was substantial.
Now, I think folks who have followed the project this long know we don't concept out every single nook and cranny, every inch of the ship. You know, it's enough to get the idea across. It's enough to put the work in motion, because then when it comes time to build it, there's going to be other people who have ideas and inputs and stuff, and new thoughts, new technologies come online and stuff. So the less there's a benefit to not being super prescriptive in every single aspect of this, because it leaves us the freedom later to have better ideas. Yeah. And so so now let's go ahead and look into the conning tower here. The kind of a signature element here. I know folks online are like, why would you create everybody knows where to attack now. Obviously you attack at the conning tower, right? Because, well, it looks cool, so.
I mean,
that's what
this does look really cool. Sci-fi coolness level to the max. How usable will a room like this be? We don't know, because we don't even have a small scale version of this yet. You know that room in the Carrick? The It's a trap, like meeting boardroom. We don't have that. And thinking about what this could be is just even beyond, you know? Let's keep going. Let's see what they say about this.
That's what armor and shields are for.
It's well protected as well.
Components are elsewhere across the ship as well.
Yep. So what is this?
This is the tactical room to study your map, to study your fleet, to collect data. And above is a quiet room.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we
quiet
tried
contemplation
to kind of, like,
room.
think about when we were making this is we wanted to try and include some areas of the ship that weren't just
Gameplay focused.
Yeah, just.
Is this where the ship's counselor will be? In the contemplation room? I like this. This is cool.
Combat and functionality. We wanted to have some areas that gave the crew some freedom to relax.
So here's our next image. What are we looking at?
This is the room where the captain and the higher ups will manage the fleet. Also thinking about...
Yeah, so a lot of ships have hollow globes in a room, and this sort of has many rooms that are for the hollow globe just because of the size of it.
Very tall.
Very tall.
Okay.
And don't want to focus on it too much, but we wanted to have little kind of areas of the ship where if you needed to have more private conversations, you needed to, there was areas that were away from like the main thoroughfare that would allow for kind of planning and discussions and
like mutinies and stuff like that. And just
I'm not saying planning.
Ideally not.
Yeah, what are you trying to say, Dan?
It's not Drake.
And then
here's that image.
Inside the big turret. So is this actually the seat that controls the turret?
Yeah, that goes up into the turret.
So you enter this room full of death, and then you get in, and then you get pulled up to dispense such death.
Correct.
Damn.
Okay.
That lets you understand what you're about to have at your disposal.
See you later, Panda.
Okay. So the scale of this turret alone, this is the... All right. I ran out of words. All right, what else? What else we got?
We have a parliament.
You can
Of course.
Sure, why not? Why not? Is there an entire school system in this ship too? K through 12? I mean, look, the USS Enterprise, they had kids. They had teachers. Why not? Put everything in the ship.
We have a parliament. And what's a parliament?
So I thought that since you're driving destroyers of wars, you should be able to dispense it democratically or not. But in some ways, you should be able to communicate your crew what the plan is.
This is the equivalent of our briefing room, but taken to the next level.
Okay.
It's a bit more lyrical, I guess.
With a ship of this size,
what?
It's good.
Look at this. Look at this room. We've said this multiple times during this video. The game that we know of as Star Citizen and the gameplay we know of in Star Citizen, this ship makes no sense. The things they're showing and the things that we might do in this ship, we haven't even touched yet in this game. Like, it's truly for the game that comes after the game. Like, I don't think we'll see this ship in game until years after version 1.0 of the game is out. So all of you that backed one of these, I hope you are prepared for the significant number of years you're going to have to wait until you get to be in this ship and fly this ship. If SC the game isn't 1.0 released until 2028, conservative guess, I don't think we're seeing this thing until 2030, 2032. That's wild to think about. That's like mortality thinking about, you know? Damn.
Going to be crewed by a huge group of people, and obviously people aren't required to be there because at the end of the day it's a game, people having fun, but it gives orgs and groups a location to meet and gather and discuss what they plan.
I think it's safe to say this is an org ship. This is a ship you leave and you don't come back for a while.
Well, you take your ships to this ship to then go off and play the game.
Okay, and the bridge here. So we got a couple images of the bridge, I would assume.
This is cool.
So front and center,
yeah, the bridge looks
commanding
cool.
officer, captain, owner, it's the person in charge. Off to one side, they have their head of security. So they'll obviously a ship of this size, someone needs to be in charge of just making sure the inside of the ship is running the way it's meant to be. And to the left side, obviously, it's an XO takeover when the person who owns the ship or commands the ship needs to go off and do something else.
Okay.
In addition to that, there's a cool little feature that we added to the actual commanding officer's dome. Do we have a picture of it? The
video?
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard about
Yeah.
this.
You wanna go to the video?
Let's
Check
go to
this
the video.
out.
Let's go to the video.
Check this
so
out.
if you need to have private, confidential conversations, just like how in real life.
The cone of silence for when you need to yell at your subordinates without embarrassing them. You can put them in here. People will know what's happening in there. They'll know that someone's in trouble. Well, who knows? Maybe something else is happening behind that. We don't know. Interstellar romance? Okay. What is this ship? What? Are they trolling us with this thing?
If you'd have proper meeting rooms for it, the captain has a way to actually generate one.
Why did that just pop up? Why did it? What's going on there? Come back. Okay.
Themselves on the bridge to have that conversation away from everyone. To then, well, it's a reflection of those times where John asked me to come into his office and close the door behind me.
So you've literally made the 1960s Get Smart cone of silence.
Yeah. Thank you, Jared, for giving us a very dated reference there. Thank you, Jared. I only know about that show because of Nick at Night.
Can you imagine?
And the idea is you know, if you are captain of this vessel and you
This ship feels like rage bait.
need to have a very confidential conversation, but you are in the middle of a battlefield, you need to happen there and then. You need to be able to make that decision, have that conversation, and get on with it.
So this is for all the remote turrets. So obviously, like I mentioned before, there's a lot of remote turrets on the ship. So there's an entire area. Basically, it's not a bridge per se, but it's a control center for all the different remote turrets across the ship.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. We're only halfway through this video. We're only halfway through this video about a ship that is so outrageous and so grandiose, I can't even imagine how you would use it in the game that I know as Star Citizen. We're going to have to pick this up another time. Yeah, we're going to have to. Let's raid Arc VR. Arc VR is much more focused on the now of this game. They're always doing PvP battles. Let's go check them out. Let's go see what people are doing that are focused on the now and the playing this game. So that's it for me today. I want to thank everyone for being a part of the show. We had so many drum donations. My wrist is literally tapped out, destroyed. I'm kind of nervous about tomorrow. I'm going to do my stretches. I'm going to take it easy tonight and see how I feel tomorrow. But if you don't see me tomorrow, it's because, well, I need another day. So we'll see what happens. I love all of you for being here. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I want to know what you think about this, Odin. I'll post a video about it tonight. But that's it for me. I love you. I'll see you soon. Good night.